everybody out there. This is Christine, and thanks for joining me today. Just a quick update, not really gonna be playing much for you today. If you've been keeping up with what I'm doing, you'll know that I've played this song many times before. And I'm currently on day 229, I believe, in total of learning piano. But because I've taken so many breaks here and there, some for very long, I feel like I've stagnated a bit. But I'm keeping on because that's what you have to do when you're learning something new and you get stuck or you feel like you've plateaued. So I stopped using flowkey except to just practice those scales. And now I'm back into simply piano. And I'm going to continue with simply piano and finish out the last, I think, 6 or so lessons that I have. And then I'll be able to come back and give you an overall impression. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, though, was my music books. So I have 3 music books here, and each of them I have been struggling with trying to play a song. I keep telling you guys that I'm going to pick a song from one of these books and I'm going to learn it and I'm going to play it for you, but every time I pick them up I have different problems, and I think I've figured out how to get over them so that I can learn one of these songs. To start with, let's look at this Broadway book. So I have this super easy songbook, Broadway book. And I'll put links in the description below in case you guys want to take a look at these. What's great about this is that, let's see if you can see it. It only has the right hand, the treble clef, in the actual music notes, so the melody here. And then the chords are up above. So if you can memorize these chords that you see here, then down below, above the melody, you will see letters. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's a G here, and that corresponds to the keys up above. So you're supposed to play the G while you play the melody with your right hand until you see the next letter, and then you play the next chord. So the left hand is always just chords in this book, and you may also have noticed that every single note in the melody on the treble clef is labeled. So it's very, very clear. However, it's, to me, not really real music reading. I want to be able to read just any piece of music, not this very beginner stuff. So these songs are pretty easy to play, and I would recommend this book if you're just starting out and you want to be able to play some songs immediately. This is a really, really good place to start. But it's not quite what I'm trying to achieve at the moment. The next one I want to talk about is this Disney Songs book. This is the Illustrated Treasury of Disney Songs. And this is the 7th edition, although I have an earlier edition down in my drawer over there that I think I got when I played trumpet years and years and years ago, because as a trumpet player you can typically play the treble line. What I'm struggling with in this book is it's not really designed specifically for beginners. They're not incredibly hard songs, but for example, Whole New World, everyone's favorite karaoke song, maybe. The key signature is mostly I've been working with C major, and so switching over to knowing exactly which keys to hit when you see the 2 sharps here is what is kind of messing with me. And then also, you see the piano line. This is a songbook as well. It's for piano, vocal, and guitar. I assume the indicators for the chords here are probably for the guitar. And then piano would be the 2 lower clefs here, with the first one being for the voice. I can play the voice line just fine because it's very simple and single notes. But what I'm having trouble doing is translating what I've learned in the apps, which take you through each section very slowly, and being able to transfer it to learning a song on my own. And that is where I would say probably the biggest struggle between having a teacher and trying to use apps is. Yes, I know you can pick up bad habits, but again, I'm not trying to be a concert pianist, so I'm not overly worried about that. But it is the ability to teach yourself a new song that I think the apps make it easy for you, but don't really teach you how to teach yourself, I guess. And so before I talk about my new plan, I just want to show you the other book that I have here. This is the Piano Pieces for Adult Beginners, also linked in the description below. This has a lot of classical music as well as songs from musicals. And my biggest challenge in here, the same problem in the Disney book, there's no finger numbering, or not none. There's some songs have a bit of finger numbering, but a lot of them don't. So it's a matter of trying to figure out how to place my fingers on the keys, combined with dealing with different key signatures, since I'm mostly used to the C major scale. There are songs in here that are C major scale in both of these books, so maybe those are a good place to start. Here's one. You Made Me Love You, James Monaco. So this This song in particular, you can see does have finger numbering, but many and most, I would say, do not have finger numbering. So when you're learning on Simply Piano and flowkey, they teach you finger numbering, but then it's not necessarily translated into all the different music books. And finally, I'm also finding that since I've never heard some of these songs before, it's difficult to determine what the melody is. So I've come up with a basic plan that I want to tell you guys about for picking one of these songs and how I'm going to learn it. And I just want to share my plan with you because I'd like to get your feedback. My thought was that I need to mark up these piano books. It's not something, for some reason, I never considered doing this. I own the books, and as a person who's sung in choirs, we always mark up the music. That is going to be my plan. So I'm going to pick a song, work my way through, label notes that I keep getting wrong, label the chords if there are chords in the song, and basically make it easier for me, make it so that the music book more closely resembles what I've been learning on the apps. And this may be something that piano teachers already do, but again, I haven't been using a teacher. I've been trying to do this on my own. May get some flack for this, I feel like, in the comments. But of course, I welcome all of your feedback, positive and negative. But I'm excited to give this a try and show you guys how I do. So I'm going to make this my project for at least the next couple of weeks, and I hope you will stick with me and see how it's coming along. And for those of you who are struggling or plateauing, I encourage you to stick with it. If you've been using apps and you're struggling with them, switch over and start looking for videos on YouTube. If you're using a music book and that's driving you crazy, try an app. I think it's good to mix things up as much as possible, and also to think about where your weaknesses are. For me, I realized that I couldn't pick out the notes on the bass clef. I couldn't just look at the bass clef and say, oh, that's an E or that's a G, and hit it on the keyboard. So I needed to work on exercises and just test myself so that I could get better at just seeing the notes and playing them. If your weakness is chords, there are exercises on the apps, there's exercises you can find on YouTube. Find them and practice those areas where you know that you're being held back from progressing. And of course, just at least play a little bit every single day. That's been the biggest thing that I have to remember as I go through this. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.